There's an elephant and donkey both on shaky ground, but we got the truth and we gonna shout it loud. From the healthcare to taxes, they can't hide from us. With a wink and a nod, we expose all the fuss. Educating the masses with a smirk on our face, bringing clarity to the headlines in this crazy race. From the White House to your house, we cover it all, putting humor in the facts, we're having a ball. Oh no, America, let's get real and laugh, teaching you the politics with a little bit of sass. Current events and headlines that blow your mind, only on Oh No America you'll find.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Gay Rod.
The Gay Rod.
To the Gay Rod. This is Oh No America. I'm your host, Nora. Guys, my mind is a little bit all over the place, but we're gonna focus in. We're gonna get down to it. We're gonna get in it to win it here. I had to shut down my computer and like clean a lot of stuff on it last night. It was a little overloaded, so now I gotta find our place here in Project 2025. So please stay with me while I scroll through all of the things that we've already talked about and get finally to actual chapter 1. Right. Parquet. Through all their promises. So many promises. This literally could have been an email. And here we go. Here we go. First of all, thank you guys for tuning in every day, being here with me. Therapy was a fantastical, Capricious Caroline. Thank you for asking. Just to give y'all an update on the behind the scenes funness here at Oh No America. Because sometimes y'all are curious on where we're at, what's going down, how close we are, all that kind of good stuff. So here is where we are at. Okay, so right now, you find this by going to your earn section. So we have 627 subscribers. We are at 17,078 hours. Look at that. Look at that, guys. We're trucking along. We do need more subscribers. So if you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe. Share this channel with your friends. If you have like-minded friends who want to find out what's really going to be the agenda for the next administration, send them on over to Oh No America. We're going to break it down. We're going to do it together here. All right. So, yeah, it's going to be wild. But anyway, there have been some wilds going on my other channel, and that's okay. That's part of what I dealt with today in therapy. So I'm working through it, guys. I'm working through it. Everything in my body is a little bit electrified right now. So yeah. And I'm doing 3 shows today. The first show, of course, is here with y'all, breaking down politics. And then I'm going to be on Scientology Up North on her show to discuss a document that she has. It's going to be very exciting. That's going to be at 2 p.m. Actually, I should have put a community post out about that on not that channel. Wrong one. On this one. And let's just do that real quick because, it's important to let everybody know what you're doing today because I have to move the time on the other live anyway, so that I give myself enough time to talk to Miriam. So here we go. Miriam's great, by the way. If you guys haven't tuned in for her, Scientology Up North, she's in Denmark, doing great protesting there. Yeah. So yeah. And then let me fix the other thing real quick. I'm sorry. This is not for you guys. It's not, I just literally got home, had to walk the dogs, you know, so it's It's never not a full day, I'll be honest, for me. So I have that scheduled at 3 right now, and I'm going to move that to like 4:30 because I'm going to give myself enough time here to talk to Miriam. There we go. 4:30. Save it. Boom. Done. Done. All right. Where did my document go? Excuse me. Okay, there it is. Like it just slid itself over into nothing. I was like, I didn't turn that off. What the frackety frack? Okay. Let's put the focus on. I'm going to get another sip here. I thought I had. Well, that I need. Sometimes, guys, you got to, warm up your voice and all that. I haven't been good at that. But my asthma has been for shit. So I don't know what's up. But that'll help. Okay. Now, me. All right. That's not a real voice warm-up, but we'll go with it. All right, this is Chapter 1, White House Office by Rick Dearborn. Here we go. From popular culture to academia, the presidency has long been a prominent fixture of the national imagination. Very true. Naturally so, since it's the beating heart of our nation's power and prestige. It has played, for instance, a feature role in innumerable movies, of course, and television shows, and has been prodded, analyzed, and critiqued by countless books, essays, and studies. But like nearly everything else in life, there's no substitute for first-hand experience, which this manual has compiled from the experience of presidential appointees and provides, so not presidents, but presidential appointees, let's be clear, and provides an accessible form. No, it provides an accessible form for future use. You guys, you got to check your grammar here. All right. With respect to the presidency, it is best to begin with our republic's foundational document. The Constitution gives the executive power to the president. Correct. It designates him as commander-in-chief and gives him the responsibility to take care that the laws be faithfully executed. Yeah. So far we're tracking. It further prescribes that the president might seek the assistance of the principal officer in each of the executive departments. Yes, it actually calls for him to use them as his counsel when making decisions about all areas of the government. Beginning with George Washington, every president has been supported. There we go. Every president has been supported by some form of White House office consisting of direct staff officers as well as cabinet comprised of department and agency heads. Yes, this has been going on since 1776. Okay. Since the inaugural administration of the late 18th century, here we go, citizens have chosen to devote both their time and their talent to defending and strengthening our nation by serving at the pleasure of the president. Their shared patriotic endeavor has proven to be a noble one, not least because the jobs in what is now known as the White House are among the most demanding in all of government. Okay, that sentence didn't make any fucking sense, but it is a noble cause to serve at the pleasure of the president and serve the people of the United States. I agree with that. The president must rely on the men and women appointed to the White House. We can't just rename the White House WHO. That's the World Health Authority, the World Health Organization, right? I'm just going to call it the White House. I'm not doing WHO. Not today. Not today, Republicans. There are simply not enough hours in the day to manage the affairs of state single-handedly. So delegation is not just advisable, it's essential. Okay, yeah, that's how anyone manages a large institution. The decisions that assistants and senior advisors make will directly impact the administration, its legacy, and most important, the fate of our country. Their agenda must therefore be the president's agenda. Okay. Choosing who will carry out that agenda on a daily basis is not only one of the first decisions a president makes in office, but also the most critical. The tone and tempo of an administration are often determined on January 20th. Yeah. Sometimes before, Trump's thrown out everybody right now. That's usually not how it goes. We usually find out announcements like after the president's sworn in, but he wants his stuff approved right now. Chief of Staff, as with most positions that will be covered in this first chapter, the Chief of Staff is also an assistant to the president. Yes, we've all seen the West Wing. However, the chief is truly first among equals. Oh, okay. Of all presidential staff members, the chief is the most critical to implementation of the president's vision for the country. The chief also has a dual role as manager of the staffs of both the White House and the executive office of the president. The chief of staff's first managerial task is to establish an organizational chart for the White House. It should be a simple one and contain clear lines of authority and responsibility to avoid conflicts. Okay, sure. It should also identify specific points of contact for each element of the government outside the White House. These contacts should include White House liaisons who are selected by the Office of Presidential Personnel. Again, they're trying to just throw all these acronyms in here. This is very Scientological to keep you super confused. Okay. Oh God, there's more coming. I'm getting dizzy already. Where did that go? I put something down a minute ago, guys, and I just realized. There it is. Okay, hang on. Hang on, guys, because I thought I had eaten my protein snack, and I didn't. And if I don't eat some protein right now, then I might actually pass out. These are so great. It's the Bel Giosio fresh mozzarella balls. Yep, somebody did use spell check on liaison. Yeah, that's a hard one to get right. Okay. Receiving guidance from the president. The chief endeavors to implement the president's agenda by setting priorities for the White House. This process begins by taking stock of the president's campaign promises, identifying current and prospective opportunities, and then delegating policy priorities among the departments and agencies of the cabinet throughout the 3 White House policy councils: National Economic Council, Domestic Policy Council, and the National Security Council. The president is briefed on all of his policy priorities by his cabinet and senior staff as directed by the chief. The chief, along with senior White House staff, maps out the issues and themes that will be covered daily and weekly. The chief then works with policy councils, the cabinet, and the Office of Communications, Office of Legislative Affairs to sequence and execute the rollout of policies and announcements. White House, okay, this is just basically a job description. All senior staff report to the chief of staff, blah, 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 blah. Cabinet officers and select number of direct reports. In most cases, direct reports has 2 or 3 deputies. Okay, I'm just looking for anything that's like, this is all true, right? This is just basically like they copy pasted the White House, welcome to your first day manual, right? Okay, so in recent years, presidents typically have appointed 2 deputy chiefs of staff, a deputy chief of staff for management and operations, and a deputy chief for policy. There have also been other types of deputy chiefs whose roles have included, for example, overseeing strategy, planning, and implementation. Chiefs of staff have then occasionally appointed a principal deputy chief to be in charge of guiding decision-making. Okay, so there can be lots of different chiefs. Let's get into the principal deputy chiefs. Not all chiefs of staff have tapped a principal deputy. Okay, a major reason is that doing so adds another layer of command complexity. Yeah, it's like one more email that you have to send out. It makes things harder. When principal deputies have been installed, their roles have varied based on the needs of particular chiefs. Most principal deputies have functioned as doorkeepers, sorting through action items, taking on those that can be handled at their own level, and passing up others that truly require the attention of the chief of staff or the president. Principal deputies also have assumed control of the scheduling functions, blah, blah, blah. Deputy chief, okay, so the management and operations person, they see the schedule, all logistical aspects of his movement in and outside of the White House. They interface directly with the Secret Service. So this person is somebody who we should keep our eye on because of the people they're talking to. They've already also worked with the National Security Council, Secretary of Defense. This guy, whoever gets appointed here, is going to have his fingers in a lot of pie. Okay. He also manages all facets of the working White House, technology, grounds, support staff. So basically, he's the house manager. Okay. The policy dude. So he goes to all the big meetings at the things. For conservatives, this arrangement could help to connect the White House outreach to political and external groups. So they want this person to be in all the big meetings and other advisors and then go, to locals and give them the down low and, pump up the crowd here. Okay. Senior advisors. Okay. Oh, this is that whole czar bullshit. The most powerful senior advisors frequently have had a long personal relationship with the president and often have spent a significant amount of time with him inside, outside the White House. Sure, a couple rounds of golf a week. And a number of administration new offices or councils have been created to support senior advisors. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. The council provides legal guidance, review of clemency applications, judicial nominations, right? So this is the person who, Bill Barr. Bill Barr was that during Trump's last administration. We saw how great he was. Okay. How to pursue and realize the president's agenda legally, basically. This is the guy who's going to be like, well, you can't say that, but you can say this. Is not the president's personal attorney in non-official matters. He's literally there to defend the Constitution and the White House, right? Deeply committed to both the president's agenda and to affording President proactive counsel zealous representation. And is responsible for this, right? Responsible for ensuring that each component of the White House adheres to all applicable legal and ethical guidelines, which often requires ongoing training and monitoring to ensure compliance. This key word right here, monitoring. I want to know how the White House counsel under the new Trump administration is going to be monitoring things. People talk to him regularly. He has deputies. Cannot serve as a finishing school to credential the next set of white shoe law firm attorneys or federal judges in waiting who cabin their opinions for fear their elite credentials could be tarnished through a policy disagreement. Wow, they're really mad at Bill Barr. So they're supposed to do their job, even if it, your reputation be damned. Should function more as an activist, yet ethical plaintiff's firm that advocates for its client. Yeah, sure. The White House counsel also serves as the primary gateway for communication between the White House and the DOJ. See, we all know what DOJ is. Don't just acronize everything else. Traditionally, both the White House counsel and the Attorney General have issued a memo requiring all contact between the two institutions occur only between the White House counsel and the Attorney General or Deputy Attorney General. Interesting. So like only those two are supposed to have a meeting. It's actually not supposed to be with the president. The next administration should re-examine this policy. Uh-oh. And determine whether it might be more efficient or more appropriate for communication to occur through additional channels. Let's just let everybody talk to the DOJ. Let's just have everybody come in and talk to the White House counsel. Why not? No. The White House counsel also works closely with the DOJ Office of Legal Counsel to seek opinions on, for example, matters of policy development and the constitutionality of presidential power and privileges with the Office of Legal Affairs and the Department of Justice Office of Legal Policy on presidential judicial nominees. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Oh, now what? I got that wrong. Don McGahn was White House counsel. You are correct. And Bill Barr was Attorney General. There you go. I just don't remember seeing Don McGahn that much, but we saw a lot of Bill Barr. So maybe, I don't know. Somehow I conflated the two. When the new president takes office, he will need to decide expeditiously how to handle any major ongoing litigation. Oh, like all the cases against himself or other pending legal matters that might present a challenge to his agenda. Gay rights, trans rights, women's rights, abortion. Got to get rid of those things expeditiously. Expeditiously. It must be prepared at the outset of the administration to present recommendations to the president, including recommendations for reconsidering or reversing positions of the previous administration in any significant litigation. This is on day one, y'all. This review will usually require consulting with the new political leadership at the Justice Department, including during the transition period, which is why they're trying to just literally get rid of everybody who's already there and only walk in with their peeps who they will have fully briefed on everything they need to do day one. Right? They'll literally they'll be in the White House fucking getting in their new office and shit, kicking other people out, like, get your fucking shit out of here. Okay? And then as soon as Trump takes the oath and he's sworn in, they're like logging in, calling IT. I want my login. And they'll have agendas and things ready for him to sign by the time he gets to the White House, because it's already typed up. Let's be real. This is going to be, it's going to be a lot. No day is predictable at the White House. No, you're running a country. And there's like turmoil in the whole wide world. That's not. Oh, I'm sorry, you guys. This is like, it's hurting my brain how stupid this is. The Office of the White House Counsel must offer measured legal guidance in a timely manner. Okay. Like, this is all, like, I think this is like the part where we're all supposed to fall asleep and give up on this. Sorry. Yeah, they should be well-versed in the Constitution. Blah, 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 blah. Moreover, while a candidate with elite credentials might seem ideal, the best one will be, above all, loyal to the president and the Constitution. So even if this guy, got his fucking law license, right, from like a Cracker Jack box, as long as he is loyal to the president, that's all we need. All right, staff secretary. She's rarely visible to the outside world. Fielding and managing vast amount of information at the top of its organization. Includes information on its way into the Oval, as well as information flowing out from the Oval. Because of its gatekeeping function, the position of staff secretary is one of extreme trust. Honest broker. Blah, blah. Lots of stuff goes in there. Briefing books, reading materials. They make sure these materials are complete, well ordered. Do they make the font real, real big and put some pictures in for Trumpety Trump? Beep, boop, beep, boop, beep. Reading materials, samples of constituent mail, personal mail, drafts of speeches. As noted above, the staff secretary also handles information leaving the Oval. They have questions. They direct. Oh, God, this is like mind-numbing. The staff secretary also oversees the use of the president's signature, whether by hand or by auto pen, and manages the Office of the Executive Clerk, Office of Records Management, and Office of Presidential Correspondence. Auto pen. I don't know what an auto pen is. Is that like one of those things that, like, you know, this is a fact. They had to include pictures of him in previous daily briefings so he would look at them. Yeah. Expeditiously. Office of Communications. Sorry, guys, I went too far. You can't see half of it. The Office of Communications, it operates, of course, under the Director of Communications. They convey the president's agenda to the public through various media, including speeches and remarks, press briefings, off-the-record discussions with reporters, and social media. May include the press secretary, but they do work with the speech writers. Okay, press briefing stuff. They have to maintain a robust relationship with the White House press corps. Yes. The Correspondents Association. They have a communications director. Speech writing team. Okay. Writers selected must understand politics. Yes. I've seen The West Wing. Come on now. Oh, God. Look, guys, I'm starting to feel like dumb reading this. It's like, okay, so the Office of Legislative Affairs. What the fuck is this? Created by Eisenhower, the Office of Legislative Affairs has continued to serve as a liaison between the White House and Congress. Okay, the White House must work with congressional leaders to ensure presidential nominees for roles such as cabinet secretaries and ambassadors are confirmed by the Senate. The White House also relies on Congress to enact reforms, blah, 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 blah. White House staffers must ensure there's enough support on the Hill. Yeah. Okay, so this person reports directly to Chief of Staff. Wonderful. Oh, he's got a certain autonomy on behalf of the president and the Chief of Staff, directly influencing congressional leaders, both major political parties. Okay, so he can go in there and lobby for shit. This guy is like the secret lobbying arm of the White House. Great. So this guy has to ensure that congressional leaders receive one unified message. If other actors within the White House maintain their own relationships with congressional leaders and staffers, it may appear that the president's agenda is fractured and lacks consensus. Right? What is an auto pen? I think it's like, you know, people who run companies to answer celebrities' mail use a mini CAD machine that just signs, like the celebrity signs their name and then it copies it and then you have them programmed in. Like, you know, I want Jude Law's signature. I think that's what it is, but let's look it up. Yeah, it's a handwriting machine. How much does it cost on the Amazon? See? Handwriting robot machine. Does it have a fun video? I don't like the ones. Oh, here we go. See? I want to see your fun, jazzy video. So you go on your computer and you're going to like write a signature, which never fucking looks like your signature. Okay. Just gonna adjust it. Fun. Save the file in SVG format. Look at this fucking old ass Windows shit. Open the file with Inkscape. This is it's too many steps already. I'm tired.
First,
and then it did
connect the machine to the computer via...
Oh, no, oh, whoa. I don't like fake robot-y voices like that.
USB. Then open the software operation interface.
No. No. Done. No. No. That's what they are. That's what they are, Abraham. Okay. This dynamic has caused problems for presidents in the past. Yeah, like Trump's last administration. When all these people were talking to other people and like they had no unity. Yeah. Yeah. All right, so they do the policy discussions, budgets, other important meetings. They require staffers who are effective communicators and can provide a dose of reality. A dose of reality to other White House staffers when needed. They're not the chief of staff. I'd be like, fuck you. I don't give a fuck. They must function as well, or machine precisely synced. President cannot afford to have a tennis player on, much less the leader of his football team. What was this much less as the leader of? This sentence is so poorly constructed. So you wouldn't want a tennis player as the quarterback, except you never know. That guy might be a fucking great quarterback, so fuck you. You're an idiot. Clearly, you don't know sports ball. You're just like, here's two different sports with balls. You guys, it's sad. They don't even know what they're saying. Oh, okay. Sorry, my mod chat. Okay, presidential personnel. The political axiom that personnel is policy was popularized under Reagan. One of the most important offices of the White House is PPO. Sorry. Which was created under Nixon to central... Okay, I'm sorry. Oh, I see. The phrase was under Reagan and the PPO was created under Nixon. To centralize political appointments, departments and agencies, and still have direct legal authority on hiring and firing, but the power to fill C positions, Schedule C positions, that must be super higher up. I don't know what that means. The core of political jobs is vested with the president. Okay. So there's 1,000 appointments that require Senate confirmation. So this person's job, and also fill 4,000 total jobs. This person's like there to vet them and do all that. This is a fucking HR job here. Okay. So they're responsible for identifying political personnel, both actively through recruitment and passively by fielding resumes and adjudicating requests from political actors. Vetting potential political personnel, conducting background checks, reviewing, blah, blah. See, even my stomach is bored. Making recommendations to the president and to other appoint authorities, blah, blah. Blah, 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 blah. Playing bad cop. in a way that other White House offices cannot, serving as the office that takes direct responsibility for firings and hirings. I don't know why you would characterize that as bad cop. That's just the function of HR. Serving as a personnel link. This is pretty, that's you. I think you just nailed it on the head. I think you nailed it on the head. The staff has to be able to accomplish everything before he shows up at 11. Then they have to correct it all as he goes off to his afternoon of cheating at golf. Yeah. Captain Mulligan will be at it for sure because he can't do anything except for golf. I'm surprised. I'm honestly surprised that he hasn't tried and didn't try during his last administration to get, you know, I mean, they tore out Michelle's beautiful garden, just fucking destroyed it, right? But I'm surprised he hasn't tried to like put, you know, a couple holes of golf there or something. Most administrations, they will fill more than 100 positions during transition and thousands of non-career positions during the president's first term. I'm sure they will get that done before day one. They're going to have all these people lined up. Like, I'm serious. It's going to be a fucking like bullhorn. Like, okay, we are here now. Please exit your offices. Take all of your personal belongings, or they're going in the trash. Like, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Political affairs. What do? They managing the president's political interests. It's the liaison between the president and associated political entities, national committees, federal and state campaigns, and interest groups. Okay, within legal guidelines, I have to put that there. Engages in outreach, conducts casework, and if the president is up for re-election, which he won't be, he better not, arranges presidential visits with other political campaigns and recommend campaign staff to the office, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Also, they're a line of communication between the White House and the president's political party. So this is the dude who has talked to the head of the RNC about all the shenanigans that Trump's going to be fucking doing. Okay? Blah, blah, blah. They need to be aware of all presidential actions and activities, including travel, policy decisions, speeches, nominations, response to matters of national security, and consider how they might affect the president's image. This is his PR frontman. Yeah, okay. Cabinet affairs. Coordinates all cabinet meetings, okay? Administer regular meetings of the deputy secretaries. And often, blah, blah. There should be a cabinet secretary who reports to the chief of staff, either directly through a deputy chief. This has deputies. They played a vital role by tracking the president's agenda for the chief of staff. So this is like a little birdie for the chief of staff. Travel, optics, ethics challenges, and Hatch Act issues involving cabinet members, deputies, and senior staffers can arise. Yeah. Yeah. Right? I mean, it would save us a fuck ton of money to build a golf course somewhere right there. You know? Like, just give him 3 holes. Fuck it. You know? He'd be there at least. I mean, I don't think he should get to go to Mar-a-Lago all the time. Fucking Jimmy Carter didn't go to his goddamn farm all the time. All right, this person's boring. Public liaison. It's critically important in building coalitions and support for the president's agenda across every aligned social, faith-based, minority, and economic interest group. So this is the lamb to the slaughter here. This person is going to be out here like with the biggest lies, the biggest propaganda, okay? telling us just bullshit, holding press conference after press conference, you know, about how all the things are great in the land, right? It's a critical tool for shaping public opinion and keeping a myriad of supporters, not myriad supporters. Yes, you can't, no, it's the wrong usage of that word, as well as frenemies and opponents alike who are within reach, better informed. It's a large office. Oh, wonderful. Blah, 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 blah. There's a bunch of people in it. They held more meetings in the Eisenhower office building and within the West Wing itself than any other office in the White House. So these guys are busy. Yeah, these are the propagandists. These are the ones that are going to, like, you know, pumping out the propaganda. Pump it. I know they really need to make sure, Caroline, that no one lets him golf in brown pants this year. Like, I don't want to see any of that. Mm-mm. 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 Yeah. It is operated best whenever the chief of staff has given it permission to use both the proverbial carrot and the proverbial stick. So it gets to threaten everybody as well. Wonderful, 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 wonderful. To make this work, communications with chief is vital, blah, blah. Should not have entrenched connections to a K Street entity. That's a lawmaker or, you know, a big business there, investors, or any other political stakeholder. Biases. They should have extensive experience in the private industry, the labor sector, the conservative movement, and among specific interest groups, which they will be asked to engage with on behalf of the White House. So you don't want them with those K Street fucks who are liberal. We want them with the Heritage Foundation peeps. Okay, got it. Got it. They must be able to influence, persuade, and most important, listen to various stakeholders to ensure they feel heard. This is gaslighting, narcissistic manipulation 101, guys. Okay, so the IGA. It connects the White House to state, local, county, and tribal governments. It scares me that they're listing that in here. In other words, it's the one-stoppy shoppy for disseminating an administration's agenda to all non-federal government entities. They should have a director to whom one or two deputies, blah, blah. Each deputy, correct. They get assigned specific things. Its primary job is to make sure that these entities understand an administration's agenda and ultimately support it. Again, you'll see how many times agenda or desires is in here and not the laws or the Constitution. Blah, blah. They work with all these other things. IGA staff must therefore have communication skills, understand political nuance, and be willing to engage in complex policy discussions. They should also be not just generally responsive, but also proactive in seeking out the interests and perspectives of federal, non-federal government entities. All right, the White House Counsel. Blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah. Okay, party coordination. Policy coordination, sorry. So primary role is of the policy councils is to coordinate development of administration policy. Okay? And the president's final decision. Independent policy advisors to the president. Yep. We need honest brokers. Oh, guys, who wants those dishonest brokers? Okay, largely drive a given policy topic on behalf of the president. Okay, so these are all yes men. This is all yes men in one way or the other. The Policy Implementation Council. Okay, so they got to mediate and manage yesterday's shit. Okay, so it could involve the following committees. The Policy Coordinating Committee. So this guy is somehow a special assistant to the president. Offering opinions, blah, blah, more yes men. Presidentially appointed executives, blah, blah. And then the Principals Committee. And then they go meet with the president for a final decision. This is just like, oh. Yeah. The three policy councils frequently have areas of overlap, which can result in confusion. Yeah, talk about confused. It's just a bunch of people. They're going to say, yeah. And then when it gets to the president, he goes, oh, where's my Sharpie? Okay. While other chapters will cover specific policy goals for each department or agency, incoming policy councils will need to move rapidly to lead policy processes around cross-cutting agency topics. Cross-cutting, not coordinating cross-cutting, like you're bypassing them. You're gonna just go do it, even though it's not your fucking agency. Including countering China, enforcing immigration laws, reversing regulatory policies in order to promote energy production, combating the left's aggressive attacks on life and religious liberty, and confronting wokeism throughout the federal government. So this is this is the nitty-gritty here. Okay? So all of this yes men, this is the real agenda right here. Like, for fuck's sake. They're trying to hide it in all this gobbledygook, because I'm telling you right now, man, I'm ready to take 4 naps. Like, that was so fucking boring. But that's the real deal right there. So ultimately, these policymakers can just cut across any lines they want as long as it's combating those things. China, immigration, regulatory policies, on energy, abortion, religious liberty. I don't know what the fuck that means from them. Wokeism. Okay. So they have carte blanche to do that. The National Security Council. Is supposed to be an interdepartmental body that can set national security policy with a whole of government approach. Unlike other policy councils, the National Security Council was established by statute. Statutory members and advisors who are currently part of the NSC include the President, Vice President, Secretary of State, Defense and Energy, the Chairman of the Joint Chiefs, and the Director of National Intelligence. Well, that makes sense. They should be vetted. Yes. Special attention should be given to the use of details to staff in the NSC. In recent years, the NSC staff size has been right-sized from its peak of 400 in 2015 down to 150 professionals. The next administration should try to limit the number of detailees to ensure more direct presidential control. So we want less and less people to be in the know about the secret militaristic shit that we're going to do. Perfect. So the Economic Council, blah, blah. Is this going to be Doge? Right? Because they're in charge. Infrastructure, manufacturing, research, development, agriculture, small business, finance, regulation, housing, technology, and innovation, and fiscal policy. Fiscal. You guys in the chat are cracking me up. We just call him the Orange Cheeto. But it's like redundant because Cheetos are orange. It's almost always headed by a well-known economist. It's regularly led by someone with expertise in the president's economic policy process. Domestic Policy Council. They got to work with all these other peeps. Okay, they work to define a well-developed domestic policy agenda. One is the promotion of innovation, such as a foundation for economic growth and opportunity. I think that's a Doge. The president should establish an economic opportunity working group chaired by the DPC director to coordinate the development of policies that promote economic opportunity. Office of the Vice President. Okay. He's a significant advisor to the president. Promote, and in many instances, put into place and execute president's agenda. Okay. He may include him in White House meetings, policy, blah, 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 blah. I don't know how much Trump's going to include J.D. Vance in these things because he got hella burnt, right, by Pence, who he thought was a loyalist. And he had Pence like at fucking everything, right? I don't know that he's going to include Vance in all these things because his level of trust for vice presidents is kind of low, right? So, yeah, we'll see. Recent presidents have decided to give a vice president a space in the West Wing. It's always weirded me out that the vice president's like in a whole other fucking building. That seems weird to me. Like, I don't know why he hasn't been in the West Wing this whole time. That didn't make no sense to me. They lead up their own efforts, charged with breaking the tie in the Senate. Like, see, they're not making any changes here. The vice president is weak sauce thing. Okay, first lady, first gentleman. First lady or first gentleman plays an interesting role. Execution of blah, blah, blah. Active and interested first spouses often champion a select number of signature issues, whether they be thorny social issues or deeper policy issues. One advantage of the first spouse taking on hot-button social issues is that any political backlash will be less severe than it would be for the president, right? Because Hillary didn't get any backlash at all, guys, when she tried to put in universal health care in the 90s. None. The first spouse normally appoints a chief of staff, blah, 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 blah. She's got her own little thing. They're afforded significant resources. His or her staff also works with the president's policy team. Oh, my fucking Lord in heaven, Jesus H. Christ on a cracker. This guy is such a boring writer. We're going to do this one either sometime this weekend, guys. I got to figure out what I'm doing this weekend, or Monday. Because today's Friday, y'all. It's Friday. It's Friday. Okay, why can't I get, there we go. Let's go back here. All right. So let's get to your questions and comments, my friends. Let's wrap it up because I have a stream, like I said, with Miriam at 2 p.m. Merch idea, Trump silhouette with the "He's Not the Messiah." Oh. He's not the Messiah. Should we put it like in Latin or something? Not my Messiah. Because we can't do, I mean, they did that whole "not my president" thing. We could be like, "Not my Messiah." That could be kind of cool. But yeah, right? We wouldn't have to pay for all that shit. Abraham, I'm with you. What What did I just do? Okay, let's do questions. Guys, I'm so out of it. Nobody asked a question. Okay, great. Well, fine. Fine. Don't ask me a question. That's fine then. It's nice to sometimes see me on weekends, Melody. Okay, I'll try and work that out. Guys, I am sorry. This was so effing boring. Like, this is this, but there's a couple nuggets in there, right? There's a couple nuggets in there, right? Where we see where they're trying to sneak in extra powers for people if the president deems them so, right? Inside the cabinet. And they only want one point of contact between the White House and Congress. Okay? Who does that sound like? That's like the fucking, Osama bin Laden. You know, how he used to have like his little messengers and he only wrote hand notes to everybody and shit. It's very Al-Qaeda. So, yeah. Not only are they trying to bring America to be insular, the White House is going to be completely insulated. Because what they want is they want Trump to be able to get his agenda, his desires done, right? By appointing only the yes people throughout the administration. They don't want anybody who's going to upset him. Nobody who's going to push back on him. None of that. And the next thing, they only want one trusted point of contact between the White House and Congress and the rest of the world, right? And all the PR shit. Because then that person has the one singular unified message. There can be no getting it twisted. No leaks. No more leaks. Remember how many leaks there were out of the White House, guys? If they thought, if any of those people, and I think a couple of them have written books about what it was like working under the first Trump administration, they are going to literally have that White House so locked down. Okay. Y'all, if you are working for this next administration coming up, don't be playing solitaire on your fucking work computer. If I were you, I would turn your phone off while you're at work or leave it in your car. Don't. They're going to track all that shit. Okay. It is scary, scary times, y'all. Scary, scary time. All right. Do I think they will weekend at Bernie? Who, the president or McConnell? Because McConnell's ready for being weekend at Bernie's. No word yet on who he's going to get to be press secretary, as far as I know. Not yet. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. And of course, he has to replace Ivanka and Jared, because, Israel. Can't have him hanging around. So, yeah. I bet he's going to start bringing Barron more. Barron's like fucking 7 feet tall. It's crazy. $1 million says you're going to see Barron everywhere. Eric can go fuck off. Junior's too coked up to do anything. Right? So Barron's going to get the supreme treatment. Yeah. Nobody could be Sean Spicer except Melissa McCarthy. Okay. I'm going to leave y'all with that. If y'all haven't ever seen... Melissa McCarthy's Sean Spicer. Let's do it. Sorry, copyright disclaimer under Section 107, Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. Fair use is permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing all rights, and credit go directly to the rightful owners, Lorne Michaels, and no copyright infringement is intended, my Lord and Savior. What's sad about this skit is that this is exactly what a Sean Spicer press conference was like, where it was like we were living in bizarro land, where he would just come out and say things like that, like that the president got a standing ovation and everyone was happy, and we all watched it live, and none of that was real. This is what it's like talking to a real narcissist. It's almost makes Linda McMahon look like a real choice. And also, I love Kate McKinnon so much. She's like, those two together, Kate and Melissa, like two of my comedy heroes. Did we get taken down, guys? Can you hear me or see me? Jeez, SNL is very strict. Did you guys see me? Can you see me or no? Did it just get put on blackout while I was playing it? I don't know if you guys can still see me or not. I'll have to look. I'll cut it. I'll do the thing I have to do, which is to cut it out. Can you guys hear me? Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. Let me go look. Oh, okay.